Guys, you are not gonna believe this. So I was sitting here swatching, and the more I swatched, the more I noticed a similarity. Look at this. Look at this shit. Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel, Amanda's Aesthetics. My name's Amanda. How are you lovely guys? It is about 11:30 at night and your girl is up and your girl is filming because she's so excited. I am so excited, guys. So I already filmed earlier today, but I can't fucking wait because I've been looking forward to this moment ever since I saw the leaks of the photos. I actually just got it tonight in the mail. I can't even wait until tomorrow to film this. I have to film this now because I'm going to shit my pants if I don't. We are going to be doing a first impression on the brand spanking new Urban Decay Ultraviolet palette. I know. I'm so excited. The Urban Decay Naked Ultraviolet palette. This came out June 17th in the US and it was available in the UK before the US. So I ended up purchasing it on Cult Beauty and that's why I just got it in the mail. You know, again, I'm not on PR list or anything, but I was so excited for this palette and I really wanted to do a brand new first impression on this. So I jumped right to it when I found the link. Anyway, I was like low-key, high-key obsessing over this palette, so I'm super excited. So this is the palette. It is gorgeous. I mean, it's really pretty, and the outside actually reminds me a lot of my paintings. It has that like fluid acrylic look to it, which I really dig, and I love the aesthetic of it, from the colors to the style, just the vibes. I'm loving this. This is the back of it, and I'm just gonna read the little info. It says, we're breaking the color spectrum with the Naked Ultraviolet eyeshadow palette. Our supercharged lineup of 12 intensely pigmented mattes, metallics, and holographic shimmers is a lucid dream come to life. So yeah, this is it. These are all the colors on the back. And when you open it up, the outside of the palette matches the box. And it has that same fluid acrylic design on it, which I really love. And it actually has like metallic shine to it. I don't know if the camera will pick it up, but it's really gorgeous. It's a really pretty packaging, and the Naked again is slightly raised, so it has that texture when you run your hand across it. So you open it up, and it has that clasp, the magnetic clasp, which I really like. Now here's the catch. When I opened it up, of course, this color is just destroyed. And I saw that and it broke my heart a little bit. I literally out loud went, oh no. It's just like such a sad moment when you see that. But I'm gonna do my best today, even with the shattered shadow, to give you guys a first impression. We are also gonna be doing swatches today. I am going to have a little peel off. I have already done my face. I use nothing new, nothing really worth talking about that I haven't already talked about. I'm gonna be doing 3 looks for you guys. I'm gonna try and use as many colors obviously as I can. So let's do the peel off and then we'll jump right into the tutorial.
So these shadows were very difficult to swatch. I tried originally with a brush, but ultimately had to use my finger. And there was a lot of fallout, especially with the shade Purple Dust, as you could see on my arm.
So we're just gonna jump right into the first look. I'm not entirely sure what I want to do. Like all of the palettes do, it did come with this brush. And it's purple, matches the palette. It's got this like pencil side to it, and then it's got this like crease blending side to it. It feels really nice, but I'm just not going to use it for this. I know some people like to use the brushes that come with the palette, but I'm just gonna use my own brushes so that I can really get a feel of how this palette performs instead of limiting myself with their brush. Also, very, 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 very sad moment, but I actually cleaned my brushes after I filmed earlier today, and I just want to show you guys so you're not like, oh my god, what the fuck happened? So I cleaned, these are my Morphe brushes. I got the Jeffree Star Morphe brush set, the big one with like this tubby and everything. And I got it because I like the huge variety of brushes, but I'm starting to understand why people don't really like Morphe brushes. When I got these in the mail, a lot of these brushes were already like this, and I ended up having to email Morphe. But yeah, so I cleaned my brushes earlier today, but after I filmed earlier today, and look at how they look. I mean, like, this is just straight up sad. It really is. It's very sad. Like, look at this. That is not okay. I've maybe cleaned these brushes like 3 or 4 times. I use like baby shampoo. I'm very gentle when I do it, and I try to be wary of how I clean my brushes, so I'm very disappointed that this happened. Yeah, that's just a whole separate issue. So let's just jump right into the first look. So I'm taking my Morphe M441, and we're gonna start the first look off pretty neutral using this side of the palette. I'm gonna start off with Trippin'. Okay, so this color's like barely showing up. It's like very close to my skin color, if not exactly my skin color. So we're gonna go to the next shade. With that same brush, we're gonna go into Mind Slip. We're just gonna put that in the crease and right above. So they're not super pigmented. Maybe it's this brush. Let me try a different brush. Like all of my brushes are like this. Okay, I'm taking my M456, taking Mind Slip again, and let's go in. Oh, that's much better. Much better. I like this color. It is, I feel like, pretty similar to a lot of the like tan light brown shades that Urban Decay has in the majority of their palettes, but I think it's important in this palette because it is so neutral. So I'm okay with having some neutrals in this palette, and I think it actually gives it more variety than if it were just an all purple palette. So I actually really like this shade. I'm taking my M431, and we are gonna go into the shade Hacked, and we're just gonna put that on the outer corner. There's a little kick up in the pan. Going back in with my M441, just the one that we used for the transition shade. I'm just gonna slightly blend that a little bit. So it is blending out easily, pretty easily. This is just like making me so sad right now. Taking my M431 again, just that pencil brush. I'm going into VR. Ooh, this is a duochrome. This is a very gorgeous shade. I really hope it shows up. And I did go in pretty heavy in the pan. Oh my goodness, there's fallout. No! Let's try this again. Fallout again. So I'm switching brushes. I'm switching to my M124. And this is also why I didn't want to use their brush, just again, so I'm not limited. I can really make the colors work if I want to in the way that I would normally. Back into VR, and I'm actually gonna wet my brush this time. There it is. Oh, that is a gorgeous shade. Oh my God. That is so pretty. Oh my God, wow. That is so beautiful. I'm so impressed right now. Do you guys see that color? It looks wet on the eye. All right, then I'm just gonna go in with Dazed on that same brush. So you can definitely see it, but not as much as I would like to. Oh, there it goes. And I'm just kind of blending Dazed into the inner part of my lid. Going back in with VR, taking just a little bit and trying to blend that into Dazed. These colors need a little bit of build-up, but once you build them up, damn bitch. On my M431, for my lower lash, we're gonna go in with Hacked. There's definitely quite a bit of fallout and kick up in the pan. Something that I'm struggling with is that I like a deep outer corner. This palette only has 3 mattes. That's kind of a bummer because you're limited on the mattes, which means if you want to go dark, you have to go dark with shimmers. And sometimes I like to darken that outer area with a matte before I go in with a shimmer, so that just kind of sucks there, but we're still working with it. It has not stopped us yet. Taking a little bit of Dazed and going in right in there. Right in there, yeah. Inner corner, I'm super excited for this. We are taking the shade Lucid. It's like a bluish, pinkish, greenish. This is one of the colors I was the most excited for. I feel like this is the color that really makes this palette unique. Ooh, that's so gorgeous. Alright, I'm gonna stop there and we're gonna do eyeliner and lashes. I'm taking the BH Cosmetics Power Pencil Eyeliner in Shimmer Teal. So I'm kind of feeling ballsy, so we're gonna go in with the L'Oreal Voluminous Original in blue. Alrighty guys, so this is the first look finished. I do actually really like the blue mascara with this look. I didn't add any lipstick, I just added a gloss. Right now I'm really obsessed with the Butter London Glaze and Lip Glaze. This is Sugar Dust. So yeah, this is a very simple look, but it has that little bit of pizzazz with the inner corners, that blue liner that matches Lucid in those inner corners, and then with the blue mascara. Yeah, I really like this look a lot. We're gonna go into the second look, and we're actually gonna kind of cheat a little bit. We're gonna just kind of go over this look and just make it really dramatic. So I'm taking my M456 and I'm going into Hatched, and I'm just gonna add that on top to just kind of darken that a little bit and bring it out a bit. Then I'm taking my pencil brush and I'm going into Digital. And this is like a super, super blacked out purple. It's considered a shimmer, but it's not super shimmery or metallic-y. And we're gonna try and use this as a matte. Taking my Morphe M166, and this is technically a concealer brush that people use or like to use for cutting the crease, but I am limited on brushes right now, so we're just gonna go with what we've got. So I'm taking the shade VR, and I'm just gonna apply that onto Digital. It is quite chunky. I'm gonna try and wet my brush for this one. Oh my god. Okay, guys, listen to this. If you wet your brush with VR, and if you wet it enough to where it's like wet, you almost like melt the chunks. I don't know, it turns into this like cream formula. But I highly recommend, if you're using VR and you're trying to get a lot of pigment, because it is a chunky shade, wet your brush well enough to melt those chunks down, and it is just like it is just so different. All right, I'm gonna do it on the other eye for you guys. So you see on the brush, it is quite chunky. Well, after wetting the brush, it just looks so wet. I kind of want this outer quarter to be even deeper. We're gonna try this. We're gonna go into Purple Dust, and that is the shade that is just destroyed, demolished, just obliterated. We're gonna be very careful. I just wet my brush to avoid fallout or anything like that. Look at that fallout. Oof. So much fallout. Taking my M431 and going in with Purple Dust, and this is just gonna go on the outer part of the lower lash. And then I'm going on with Lucid with this M431 again, putting that on the rest of my lower lash. And this color clearly does have pigment because I'm putting it over Dazed from the first look, and it's showing. right, and then I'm just gonna brighten that inner corner one last time. For eyeliner, I'm going to do something purple to kind of keep in the theme of everything, and I'm going in with the Ulta Gel Eyeliner in the color Storm. Now, it didn't really have that deep purple to it. It actually mixed with the teal and created this kind of periwinkle color. I don't know if you guys can see that. My eye's a little red because I poked myself in the eyes because I always do that. But it's kind of like this periwinkle color, which I really, really like. And then I'm just kind of digging the blue lashes. So I'm just gonna do a quick coat of the blue right on top. Alrighty guys, this is look number 2 complete. I really like it. I think I like this one better than the first one. And like when looking at this palette, I would have never thought that I would get a look like this. Like this is just so blue, yet purple, yet orange. And like, I think the blue mascara really makes it. I don't know, I'm just loving that mascara right now. And I just paired it with a nude lipstick. I'm wearing the Maybelline matte lipstick in Nude Embrace. I'm just a nude ass bitch when it comes to lipstick. As you can see, I have a lot of fallout, like a lot. I have these like dark circles under my eyes. I have sparkles all over my face. The fallout has gotten onto my nose. It's gotten onto my mouth. It's just kind of like all over. This is a palette that you would absolutely want to do your eyes before your face. So next we are going to do the third look. So I'm gonna go clean my eyes off and then we'll get right to look number 3. All right, we are gonna go into Optimized first, which is this gorgeous lavender, pastel lavender shade, and this is also the darkest true matte in the palette. Again, I feel like digital can be used as a matte because it's not super shimmery, but technically this is the darkest matte. So I don't know if this makes sense or not, but it's pigmented, but it's not pigmented at the same time, in the sense of like it's there and you can see the color. It's not where you have to necessarily build up a bunch, but it's still subtle enough to where it's not like bam in your face, I'm bright purple. And it does seem like if you wanted to, you could build it up. Ooh, you know what I'm kind of feeling? Should I do it? Yes. We're taping it. Oh yeah. And hopefully this will help with fallout, but we will see. This feels like I just had Botox. My face is just tight as fuck. Back into Optimized. Stay. Because we are limited, we are going to use digital again. Right there. Ask your mom. Going in with Euphoric. Alright, I need to wet my brush. There she is. And she's a beaut. That is such a gorgeous color. We're gonna do a halo eye. I'm going to take digital
Taking my M124 and I'm picking up Euphoric again. I'm gonna take Cyberpunk on my pencil brush. I'm just gonna put a little bit right on the outer corner. On my M456, I'm picking up Warning, and I'm just gonna put that on the edge of Euphoric. Taking my pencil brush with Warning, and I'm just putting that ever so slightly on the edge. Alright, I want to deepen this shit again. So we're gonna take Purple Dust. And then I'm just adding just a tad of Digital on top. Cleaning the brush off and then blending that. Taking Euphoric again and just blending that in. There it is. There it is. I don't have any idea what I'm doing, but it's working. And then we're just gonna do the same thing very tediously on the inner. Oh my god, that follow is just insane. I have to get that. I'm just gonna bring that into my crease to connect it up above. And then I'm taking Optimize and I'm just softening up all around the edges. So I'm having a little bit of a hard time blending out Warning. Just doesn't want to move. What we could do, taking Warning and pulling that down a bit. Alright, now for the center part of my lid, we're gonna take Lucid and just pop that right on top. Gonna have to wet my brush since I didn't cut my crease. With a clean brush, I'm just going to blend it a bit. Alright, let's go ahead and take these bad boys off. Fall out. Alright, for my lower lash line, I am taking Purple Dust. Just putting that on the corner. Taking Warning and just putting that on my lower. And then I'm actually going to put a little bit of Cyberpunk in between those two. I was gonna go in with VR, but I think I have to do Lucid. It's just such a pretty color, and I love it as inner corner highlight. It just makes the eye pop. I think I want Lucid a little bit more pigment on the center of the lid. Put one more layer.
I can't even. I can't even. I don't even want to stop applying this color. I want to just keep putting it on for the rest of my life. Alrighty, I think this is one of those looks where you gotta go big or go home. And clearly we're going big. So, this is the Revlon Photo Ready Eye Art. And I love both of these shades. I want this color, and I'm gonna use it as eyeliner. So, we are gonna take our Morphe M250. This is a super skinny eyeliner brush. I'm gonna just dip it in a bit, and I'm gonna wipe it onto my hand to get a nice thin line because you don't want too much product. I don't want a super big wing, but I want to follow this line that I made with the tape. I need to stop there. My OCD is kicking in. Oh my god, guys. I don't even know what to say. I kind of just like got in the zone and just started going. I love the color with everything. It's gorgeous. It matches great. It matches the Lucid great. They definitely complement each other. All right, the home stretch, folks. For eyeliner, we are going to take the LA Girl Shockwave in Fresh. So for mascara, I'm a little torn. Part of me wants to do black, part of me wants to do the blue. We're doing it. Oh my god. I'm kind of in love. I'm kind of losing my shit right now. I don't know if it's just me or if it's because I'm extremely tired right now. But this look is like blowing my mind right now. Alrighty guys, we made it through all 3 looks. I don't know if you guys could tell or not, but I made a huge mistake. Actually, I made 2 huge mistakes. I accidentally recorded look 2 backwards, so I was recording the wall instead of me for look 2 twice. So I did look 2 3 times. So I did 5 looks tonight with this palette. It got a lot of use. If you guys watched my first video, I talked about how I used this eye cream that I had a really bad allergic reaction to it, and my eyelids were really dry and they would burn and they were itchy and they were flaky and peely. And so finally, it took a couple weeks, but finally my eyes are not flaking like grated Parmesan cheese, which is good, but hopefully tonight doesn't irritate them all over again. But honestly, it was worth it. I pushed through. I want to really quickly add some lipstick, but first I wanted to show you guys, I got this new Revolution Pro lipstick. I got all 6 shades because I'm just a freak. I need to show you guys what this lipstick looks like before I put it on. Look at that. I mean, is that not the most beautiful lipstick you've ever seen? Yeah, I'm about to put this shit on my lips. This is in the shade Corset, so I'm gonna put this on. Okay, so this is the lipstick on. I think it's gorgeous. It has that gorgeous shimmer metallic. So, my first impressions, my thoughts. So like I said originally going into this, I have been looking forward to this palette for so long. When I opened it, I was just, very disappointed with the shattered shadow, but I got a lot of use out of it. I had no issues using it really. It wasn't any different than the other shades, honestly. This palette is a good palette. It is a good palette. It is unique, yet easy to work with. It has very unique shades in it that make it different than other palettes out there. It's definitely very different for Urban Decay. I really like that they went down the purple route. I know that people are upset that they had brown shades in this, but it wasn't ever considered a purple palette. So I think the brown shades work very well with the purple shades. That Lucid shade kills me, and that VR shade kills me. Like, those two shades are enough alone to buy this palette. They are so unique and so gorgeous. It's insane. It really is. And yeah, you may have to use a little setting spray when using them, but the payoff is so worth it. I think that the colors are very blendable. I didn't have too much trouble blending them. Here and there I did, like with Warning. The fallout was insane. If you're going to use this palette, I highly recommend with any look at all, because pretty much all of the shadows had fallout. Even the mattes had some fallout. Not as bad as the shimmers, but it's also almost all shimmers, so just do your face after. The kick up, let me just show you guys my palette. And granted, I did technically 5 looks, but should my palette really be looking like this? Like VR looks like it's halfway gone. I do think that they needed another matte in this palette. I do. That was something that was right in front of their faces and they just missed it completely. And I don't necessarily think that they failed. I don't necessarily think that the colors that they chose to put in this palette were wrong. I don't know which one I would switch out, honestly. They're all gorgeous. They all work. If anything, I wish they could have added another 2 shades, extended it or whatever, because I think that all of these colors in this palette are really pretty. I honestly don't know which one I would trade out. Maybe Trippin', just because it doesn't even show on my face. If it were more shimmery, it could be used as a brow bone or an inner corner highlight, but it's not really shimmery. That's the other thing is there's only 3 mattes, but Trippin' and Digital are not really shimmery and metallic-y like the other shimmers in this. So, you could technically get away with using both of them as mattes. And I used Digital as a matte. I used it to deepen my outer corner and it worked just fine. So, it's a bummer that they didn't have a matte. It's a bummer that my shadow came shattered. It's a bummer that, for some of the shades you have to use setting spray with them, but I think it's a pretty solid palette. And I would recommend to someone who likes purples, who likes palettes that are pretty easy to work with. I think this could work for a lot of different people. The one thing I would say is that the mattes that they do have are super light, and I don't know how that would look on everybody, which is a little unfortunate because, it's 2020. Get with it, bro. It's really not that hard at this point. Overall, I do think that this palette is worth the money. I think it's $49 on Urban Decay. I do think that you will get use out of it. I do think that you will enjoy the palette. It has those typical flaws that, all palette has something. It's just a matter of if this palette speaks to you or not. And for me, that was why I bought this palette, was just because I couldn't not. It was just one of those palettes. I did notice, and I will actually swatch them for you. There are just a lot of colors in here that look similar to the Urban Decay Urban Spectrum palette that I actually did my first video on a few weeks ago. Honestly, I don't know if I would have noticed or caught that if I didn't just do a review on it, but I started looking at the two palettes and I noticed that there are a lot of similarities in here, so I'm just gonna do some swatches for you and you guys can decide for yourself. Guys, you are not gonna believe this. So I was sitting here swatching, and the more I swatched, the more I noticed a similarity. Look at this. Look at this shit. Okay, so the top row is the Urban Spectrum palette, and the bottom row is the Ultraviolet palette. Now, I can't be the only one that sees a similarity. I'm gonna go ahead and take a picture of these and just post it on so that we can talk about this. Top row Urban Spectrum is Oh Men. Bottom row Ultraviolet Euphoric. Top row Urban Spectrum Flashback. Bottom row Ultraviolet Cyberpunk. Top row Urban Spectrum Voodoo. Bottom row Ultraviolet Purple Dust. Top row Urban Spectrum Backlash. Bottom row Ultraviolet Warning. Top row Urban Spectrum West. Bottom row Ultraviolet Digital. Top row Urban Spectrum Bordello. Bottom row Ultraviolet VR. And then lastly, top row Urban Spectrum Daybreak. Bottom row Ultraviolet Dazed. Look at this, like, look at the similarity between these two palettes. I would say Warning and Backlash are different enough to be different shades. Warning has a more purple bluish undertone, whereas Backlash is just pink. Daybreak and Dazed are different enough. Dazed is a little bit more orange, whereas Daybreak is a little bit more champagne-y. But other than that, honestly, I mean, VR and Bordello are like pretty much the same color. VR just has a blue undertone to it. But if you were to like look at the VR without the duochrome, they'd be pretty identical. And then other than that, Digital and West, Flashback and Cyberpunk, Euphoric and Omen, and Purple Quest and Voodoo, they all look identical. They might as well have just taken these purple shades out of Urban Spectrum and added a few brown shades and called it a day. And honestly, it kind of looks like that's what they did. I'm just giving you my observations, and this is what I just noticed. So I don't know, I have both palettes and I feel like now it's a little redundant. Let me show you both palettes side by side. And as you can see, there is a similarity. Although I did just notice that, I still do feel like this palette is good. I am glad that I have it. I am glad that I purchased it, but I'd say if you have the Urban Spectrum palette and you have like the Naked or the Naked 2 or one of those neutral basic bitch Naked palettes, you probably don't need to get the new Ultraviolet palette. It is very similar to Urban Spectrum, and I don't know if I'm the only one that's picked up on that. I'm curious though. Needless to say, if you are like me and you just have to have it, then go out and get it, because like I said, you're gonna get use out of this palette, you're gonna get great looks out of it, but that kind of just caught me off guard. Anyway, I like all three looks that we did today, and I hope you guys did too. If you enjoyed this video, go ahead and like and subscribe. Go ahead and comment down below if you like the first, second, or third look better. Until then, I will see you guys next week. Bye!